You're listening to the Fast Intentions Podcast. Now here are your hosts, Nathan and Todd.
Hello, listeners. Welcome back to Fast Intentions, episode number 22. I'm your host, Nathan, alongside my co-host, who is my father, wearing glasses and a tank top right now. His name is Todd. He's all sweaty because it's been 100 degrees outside.
It's not a tank top, technically.
What is it?
I don't know. It's just it's a sleeveless shirt.
It's called.
I'm not a fan of tank tops, so that's why I don't wear tank tops.
We just go with t-shirts with no sleeves. It's a tank top.
Yeah, it's the gun shows in town.
Well, it's not on this side of town. Well, anyways, like I said, I'm your host, Nathan. Welcome back to another fascinating episode.
We hope.
We hope so. Yeah. They're usually not too fascinating, but we're trying to change that. I'm joking. They're fascinating. At least when I'm talking, but...
They're fascinating.
Ooh, that was a bad one. That was a bad one.
Hey, quick shout out to our new subscribers, Elliot and Derek. Thanks for subscribing. We appreciate it. Shout out.
Thanks. You didn't have to point at me again. But we are here, episode 22. So you know what that means? We have to figure out who the fuck wore number 22.
That's right.
So we can proclaim this episode as their episode.
That's right.
So, you ready? Do you happen to know 22s off the top of your head?
I know Rex Burkhead from Nebraska.
Well, he's not on this list, but
Emmett
that's
Smith.
one of the one. Oh, yeah, Emmett Smith's on here.
That's about all I can come up with right now.
Ricky Henderson.
He was 24.
Well, they have him in a Red Sox hat, so maybe he was with the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they've had people like with different jersey numbers on different teams.
Yeah, but
so
you go with the team.
But he was number one on the list. Clyde Drexler.
Oh, yeah. The Glide.
Elgin Baylor.
Oh, throwback.
Clayton Kershaw.
Mm-hmm.
Moses Malone.
Ooh, Moses.
With the 76ers. Ooh, Moses. Is that all you have to say about Moses Malone?
Moses!
Okay, I shouldn't have asked.
Yeah, part of the Red Sea.
That's not the same Moses.
Oh.
Mike Schmidt.
Mike Schmidt was 22?
Yeah, I guess.
Oh.
But I feel like we keep fucking... His name keeps coming up every episode now. Bob Hayes.
Bullet Bob Hayes.
Jim Palmer.
Jim Palmer. We saw his statue.
We did.
Mm-hmm.
Roger Clemens with Houston. Gaylord Perry.
Oh, knuckleballer.
Brett Hull.
Brett Hall.
Mike Bossy.
Bussy. Throwback. Hockey player.
Paul Krause.
Paul Krause. Ooh. Old Minnesota Vikings defensive back.
And then Andrew McCutcheon.
Oh, Andrew McCutcheon.
Bernard King's on here. Robinson Cano.
Bernard King was 30.
Well, he was with the Nets.
He played with the Knicks mostly.
Yes, I know. But the Nets he played. He was number 22. Robinson Cano.
Mm-hmm.
Could have been something, maybe. Jorge Posada. He's 20. Why is he on here?
I don't know.
So
where'd you get this list?
This is like a fan voted website, so maybe some people may be just voting incorrectly. Hey, you can't judge. Remember your list of people who've never won the Super Bowl, and then they had all like 20 Super Bowl winners on it.
Yeah, that was misreading on my part, I believe.
No, I think that was just it's normal with you. Anyways, I don't really like any other people, so I kind of just want to go with Rex Burkhead.
Okay.
I feel like he just kind of fits. I don't care about Emmett Smith. Or Ricky Henderson apparently wore 22 at one point with a different team. So obviously, if he's the number 22, according to these people, is not too accurate.
Well, I know listener Lisa would take that vote.
That's okay. Oh, there was something else I wanted to mention. Oh, I know what it is. I'll mention Lisa later. There's another thing I have written down for
Okay.
that. It'll bring up a Lisa reference.
All right.
So Lisa, keep paying attention during the NFL part.
I did get a comment. She said we're killing her with these 2-hour-long episodes.
Well, according to your notes, we're going to have a 4-hour episode here.
I know, right? She's going to love it.
Yeah, so.
Multiple days.
So where do you want to start?
Well, when you woke up this morning, were you as confused when you looked at your phone as I was?
Oh, no. I don't know what you're going with. No, I wasn't.
Twitter apparently rebranded their logo from the little bird thing to an X.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No. When I was looking at my phone, I go, what the hell happened to my phone? Because sometimes, I'll have my phone in my pocket, let's say, and it'll get jostled around. And then when I take it out, there's all these pages open and these things are going on, and this has changed or that's changed. Because I don't have a lock screen. My phone's always on. So
It's just open for everyone to access.
So sometimes when it's in my pocket, it gets jostled around a little bit.
You need to add a passcode or something.
I know, I should.
I can set it up for you right now if you want me to.
Well, not right now. Maybe after the show. But
I'll tell everyone on the podcast what your passcode is.
There you go. So I was really confused when I saw that X and what was going on. So I tapped on it and Twitter came up. So I finally Googled and they said they had rebranded it.
Yeah, Elon Musk he's fascinated with the letter X.
Yeah, apparently.
SpaceX. His kid's named XAE76 or whatever. His kid's got a weirdness name now. So now it's X. So you know how you have bookmarks on your web browser? Mm-hmm. That updated as X, but my phone still has the bird on it.
Nice.
Maybe it'll never update, and I could sell my phone one day. A phone that still has the original Twitter bird. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, it said Twitter updated its Android app today by replacing the iconic bird logo with the new X logo, the latest step in an ongoing rebranding effort. The company also updated its app listing on the Google Play Store to reflect the new branding with screenshots of the app with black backgrounds with the X logo.
Yeah, because you know how they have light mode and dark mode? Mm-hmm. He's making it just dark mode now, so you can't have light mode. So open up your X right now, or your Twitter, I don't know. See, you're nasty. You got that white background. I don't know how people can have the white mode.
What?
You see, your white background, it looks so much better when it's darker. See, you see my Twitter?
Yeah, I see your Twitter.
It's black. It looks better. And now, sometimes when I'll, delete my history sometimes, it'll, revert the settings, and I'm like, oh my god, it's too bright! So,
You're a dork.
we're never using that photo, by the way. I saw it on there.
Yeah. Barb agreed it didn't look like us, so.
It's okay. Shout out Glenn.
Yeah. Thanks, Glenn. Your son-in-law.
All right. Well, let's start with Nebraska because we were just talking about Rex Burkhead. Do you want to talk about the media day press
we didn't
conference?
really talk about Rex Burkhead.
Yes, we did. This is the Rex Burkhead episode, so we got to start with Nebraska.
Sexy Rexy. Yeah, when we went to Minnesota, Lisa painted Sexy Rexy on the side of the car.
Okay, so it was Big Ten Media Day, right?
It was.
So Matt Rhule had a press conference.
Yeah,
and some of the players.
Well, they each team sends the coach and 3 players, except for Northwestern. Northwestern just sent their coach, but we can get into that a little bit more later. So I listened to Matt Rhule's press conference, and I just took a few notes.
I didn't listen to it. I looked at the transcript for about 45 seconds before we started this.
While you're on the pooper?
No, I was in the shower.
Oh.
But I looked at it before the shower.
Right?
I looked at it before I went in the shower.
Sensey.
And I have a screenshot pulled up right now.
Oh, all right.
Do you want me to read my screenshot first or yours? We probably have the same thing written down.
I'm sure we do.
Yeah.
You can start.
Well, the main takeaway. Nah, you can go first because mine was kind of the main takeaway, I think.
Well, I just kind of wrote notes down as he talked based on who answered questions. He said he wants to take back respect for Nebraska. He wants the teams to respect them, the opponents. He wants the fans to respect the team. He wants the opponents to respect the team. He wants college football to respect the program. And he wants the players to respect the fact that they get a chance to play for Nebraska.
And that's exactly what I wrote down. Because I think that's the main thing that Nebraska needs.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be great to win national championships right away and go back to the glory days. But we just need to get back to a base where we're actually feared and respected.
Well,
and it actually means something.
It's a process, yeah. He's going to.
Yeah.
We're not trying to circumvent any of the steps. We're going to take it step by step. And
it's a good thing too that it feels like it's been a long time since we've been good, but like he said, he grew up watching and respecting college football and its history. Because you probably had it written down. He's talking about watching the old Colorado games, and he even said we know about the history of Nebraska. So it's good that there's still people that understand the importance of Nebraska growing and how successful they were. Because obviously the younger generation, they don't really know much about Nebraska. Yeah. So this is our opportunity to get back and lay the foundation again.
Yeah.
Because if we get too far away, no one's going to care, except Nebraska, because we're crazy and we love our team.
Yeah, he said he would be crazy not to use Coach Osborne as a resource, having him there. And it's not just, he said it wasn't necessarily about the games. He talked about how they're using multiple stations at practice now because he has so many players, in the program, more than he's ever had before. And I think he said he had used them at one time, but had kind of gotten away from it. So now he's back to using stations. Talked a little bit about recruiting, and he said him and, local recruiting. He said him and Evan Cooper, his recruiting guy, sat down to watch film of Nebraska kids, and they saw lots of talent in the state, and that was one of the reasons they took the job. And I think the talent in Nebraska has been on the upswing. There's been a lot more national programs coming in trying to recruit the kids from here. Like Carter Nelson out of Ainsworth. He had offers from Georgia and some of the bigger programs. Let's see. He said the purpose of the program was to give the players a chance at a better life. I'm kind of paraphrasing. But he said after their playing days are over, he wants them to be able to look back and be thankful for where they're at because they went to Nebraska. And Nebraska prepared them for life, just more so than just being outside of just playing football.
I think that's a good selling point too for people to want to come there.
Yeah, and he talked about making connections. He wants the players out in the community, making connections with people in the community, making connections with each other, with their teachers. Just around the campus. He talked about how connections will lead to be able to be in meetings and, give speeches and those kind of things as you move on later in life. He said who they become as people is more important than who they become as players. And he seems to really embrace that motto and what they want to do, is make good men, not just good football players. They asked about his coaching and how he's out of the game. He said he wanted to come back to the Big Ten. That's where he wanted to come. And he wanted a place where he could raise his family. And he said Lincoln was a really good place to raise their family. A couple other things. Let's see. It's all about today. He emphasized that they worry about today, not tomorrow and the future. They focus on what they can do today to get better. And he said the motto's on the side of the stadium, day by day. That's their philosophy. Just, worry about what you can do today to get better. And then tomorrow, and then next week when you get there.
Better and better?
Better and better. Day by day, we get better and better. And then somebody asked him about chili and cinnamon rolls, and he said he'd never heard of it till he got here, and he was at a recruit's house, and the recruit's mom made it, and he said it was life-changing. And that is quotes.
See, I don't know if I've ever even had chili and cinnamon rolls together.
Well, the Runza has it.
I know, but
Runza.
Well, I work for the competitor.
Well, it doesn't mean you don't eat at the competition.
No, that's true. But no, I mean, I've had cinnamon rolls, I had chili, but I don't think I've ever combined them.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll have to officially do that for once in a while.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, shout out Matt Rhule, Mr. Offseason Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
Says all the right things.
Too bad we don't have the taste test segment anymore. It could be chili and cinnamon rolls.
No one wants to hear us. No ASMR.
Yeah, we dropped that segment.
But we didn't drop it. We can bring it back.
No, that's all right. Your sister said we shouldn't do that anymore.
Well, fuck my sister.
What?
So, she can be one person that not like a segment.
Okay, I see. Well, about 20 minutes before we sat down to record, we had some breaking news.
This is Friday, July 28th, by the way.
Thank you.
As we're recording, because this will probably go up Sunday.
6:10 p.m.
Okay, I'm putting it down right now. This will be up Sunday.
Well, he always says it's going to be up by a certain time in the pod, and it never is. So
because usually something bothers me, and I don't want to do it.
Basically, Coach Wager, the tight ends coach, has stepped down from his position days before fall camp starts, and he put out a press release. It says, "It is with great remorse that I resign my position as assistant football coach at the University of Nebraska. Earlier this week, I received a citation for a driving offense that I regret immensely. I am grateful for the opportunity extended to me and sincerely sorry for any negativity my poor decision has brought to my family, our team, our staff, and all those I have disappointed."
What is he driving too fast?
Well, according to a police report, Wager was cited in downtown Lincoln at 1:24 a.m. Wednesday for an open container, careless driving, refusal of a preliminary sobriety test, refused a chemical BAC test. I'm not sure what BAC test is or stands for. I'm sure it's
blood alcohol content.
And driving under influence with, makes sense, a level of 0.15, and I believe anything over 0.008 is intoxicated.
So, yeah, not good.
So he stepped down. Josh Martin, a special teams analyst, has been elevated to the tight end coach for now. He was previously a full-time assistant at Arizona State and SMU. He has coached tight ends for 4 years at SMU, and they say he's directly coached multiple NFL picks at the position. And he also spent time as a special team coach in a few years at Dallas. And he spent 4 seasons at Arizona State, worked with offensive line and then transitioning to running backs and tight ends. So Martin seems to have quite a bit of experience. So it should be a fairly smooth transition, even though it'll be sad to see Coach Wager move on. But
don't drink and drive, kids. Don't drink and drive.
Well, you establish some rules, for your program, and then the coaches have to adhere to them too. And when they don't, that's what happens.
You got to go.
Yep.
Yeah, don't speed. A lot of people are speeding lately.
Yep.
Did you see what's his face was speeding?
No.
Jordan Addison for the Vikings.
Oh.
That rookie.
Yeah, well, I don't know anybody named what's his face, so that kind of threw me off.
You're so funny. Yeah, don't speed.
Don't speed.
Don't do. I don't want to.
Don't speed. Don't use speed. Don't Jer speed.
Even if it's an accident, don't do it. I'm sure you don't mean it, but
shout out to Vern for that Jer speed reference. He'll get it.
Oh, more old man references. All right, so because
it's generational.
All right, so before we get to your monologue, Colorado's going back to the Big 12.
They are.
And did you see how they announced it?
No.
Or how the Big 12 announced it?
Do tell.
They did I hate it because everyone does this now. They did a fake fax. You know how Michael Jordan faxed and he said, I'm back? Mm-hmm. They did the same thing with Colorado. So Colorado's saying, I'm back. The Big 12. It's overplayed. Don't do it anymore. We don't care about your stupid Michael Jordan
we expect
references.
Nothing less from Colorado.
Yeah, fucking losers. But no. They announced
three F-bombs you dropped today. Right?
It's okay. I'm an F-bomb kind of guy,
I guess.
No, but yeah, they're going back to the Big 12, so cool. How many do they have now?
13.
It just doesn't make sense, does it? We have 14 in the Big 10. We have 14, right? I think so.
Yes.
Let's realign all the conferences again.
Yeah.
And then we could be playing with North Dakota and
South Dakota. Colorado was in the Big 12 from 96 to 2011 before they left to go for the Pac-12.
Because we used to play with their ass every year.
Pac-10, I guess it was back then.
Well, that sounded kind of dirty.
But,
we used to play them every year.
Yeah, apparently they feel the Big 12 has more stability and a better financial outlook as they will become, like you said, they will receive $31.7 million annually as part of the TV deal for Big 12 from ESPN and Fox, beginning in 2025. Their departure from the Big Pac-12 will actually coincide with the end of the Pac-12's TV deal, so they will not get penalized as breaking contract and leaving the conference. So they had good timing and they planned this out well. I mean, in the Pac-12 or Pac-10, whatever you want to call it, is kind of unstable territory right now. As USC and UCLA are coming to the Big Ten starting next year. So
they're going to be the Pac-7 pretty soon.
Yeah. So Colorado will be going back to the Big 12 along with they'll be joining BYU, Houston, Cincinnati, and Central Florida. And they'll have 13 teams, so I'm sure they'll be looking for one more. Most conferences like to have an even number of schools.
Nebraska. We're going back. No, we're not. We're staying in Big Ten. Where's Oklahoma and Texas going?
Pac-12.
I think
no SEC.
For some reason, I was thinking it was the Pac-12 too.
No, it's SEC.
Okay. Because for some reason I was thinking it was the Pac-12, and I go, well, how's it unstable?
I say if it was there in the Pac-12, I don't think Colorado would be leaving.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
No, I'm just dumb.
Well,
it makes sense.
Anybody who listens to the show knows.
I think they feel it the other way.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of listening to the show, we're available on a lot more streaming services.
Okay, we'll just shout this out in the middle of the show, I guess.
Yeah, let's let the people know where they can find us outside of our normal Spotify and YouTube channels.
Well, they can find us on a lot of things.
Yeah.
I was waiting to see how far you wait for me. No, well, I'm like other shit except like Apple. Because Apple Podcast, I keep trying to make an Apple ID and they keep being mean to me. Oh. And it's kind of pissing me off, so I said screw Apple. No, but we're on like iHeartRadio and like, I don't know what the other ones are called. I think we're on like Amazon Podcast or I can't think of what Google's is called. It's like Slacker or something, I think. I applied to be on those, so they should be on there. I don't know, because I applied for a lot of them and I wasn't really paying attention to how many I was going to. So, but if you look on things outside of Spotify and YouTube, wherever you get your own podcast, we should be on there. Except Apple Podcasts, because screw Apple Podcast. So, yeah, if you feel like listening to us on other things, you're more than welcome to. Or just good that we get more viewership out there in the world. So,
Well, you got an email here that says we got 2 new replies, and our audience wants to join the conversation about fast intentions, but when I go to view your replies, you have to log in, and I don't know the login for it.
we're going to keep it that way.
Oh.
No, I'm looking on Amazon Podcast right now, and it has it in here. So, it's definitely on there. And for some reason, this is in Spanish. I don't know why it's in Spanish. But, so, yeah, that's cool. But I'm not getting notifications for the thing on there? Where does it say that?
What's that?
That we're getting people trying to talk to us.
In the Gmail account.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it.
This is great.
Why is it in the trash?
Great. I don't know. Maybe did I put it in there by accident? looks like we're on Simplecast.
See, I apply for a lot of things. So
Good.
if you feel like listening to the podcast, if you listen to something else on a different platform, and then you listen to us on a different platform, maybe you can just listen to both of them on the same now.
Yeah. Oh, and also
I explained that very poorly, but that's
did.
okay.
And also, our interview with Glenn and Wayne from last week is up on YouTube. So if you'd like to actually watch that video and see the things they brought to show us, feel free to go on there and watch it. It's about 50 minutes long. But it was a good conversation. We enjoyed it. And once again, we shout out to Glenn and Wayne for coming on. But, yeah, go on there and watch that and see some of the memorabilia they brought to show us.
Oh, yeah. I see the replies on some of these now because I'm logged in.
Good.
Well, we do have a whatchamacallit?
Comment section.
Yeah, so
Yeah, we'll
I guess we'll read them here. There's 3 replies.
Well, save them for the end of the show.
Yeah, why did you get why were they just in the did you delete them?
I didn't delete anything.
No.
Does it go in there after you read them?
No.
No.
Maybe you swiped them on accident.
Maybe.
You probably. I think maybe if you swipe it on like the notification thing, it may automatically trash it.
Oh. Okay.
So maybe you got it and you trashed it, and then I never got it.
Oh.
Because I got an email saying we've been on Spotify for podcasters for 1 year.
Oh.
So we have our year anniversary.
Oh. Happy anniversary.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. And then yeah, I never saw those, so we'll figure it out.
Nice.
But cool. Thanks for all the people. We'll shout you out here in a sec. I'll put you on. Okay, but now we got to talk about other college football news that you got. You got the whole thing ready to go. So.
Well, we just it was kind of funny because last time we recorded, I had one of my nuggets was this little blip about Pat Fitzgerald, the Northwestern coach, getting suspended for a couple weeks during the summer. And then after the interview and other things, we kind of got on a baseball focus. I thought, well, it's really not a big deal, so I didn't mention it. Well, like
I don't think I saw the news either. So when you mentioned it, I go, I never saw anything about it, so we could probably skip it.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, it's kind of turned into a huge.
Yeah, like 2 days after we recorded last time, it kind of blew up. So I just kind of have a timeline of events that I've been following and writing down. So I know it's been news, but whether or not people have followed it super closely or not, I'm not sure. But I'm just going to run down the timeline of events here, and hopefully you can stay with me on it.
We'll take it step by step here.
Yeah. Well, originally he was suspended for 2 weeks, unpaid, for a hazing incident in the football program. And that news release came out on a Friday afternoon, which is usually like they call it a news dump, where people just put insignificant news out, or maybe something they're trying to get out underneath the radar that people, so it might not be seen, or be that newsworthy. Well, July 7th, after the school had initiated an investigation of alleged hazing in the 2022 season, the school statement said in part, "Hazing is prohibited by university policy, and we take these claims seriously." They went on to say it will focus on gathering facts and will not jump to conclusions. The Northwestern AD, Derek Gregg, informed players and coaches about the
He's reading word for word right now.
The inquiry the same day. So when they started their investigation, they made sure they informed the players and coaches that the inquiry was starting.
So they just have claims as of now.
Yeah. So July 9th, and an article in the student newspaper, the Daily Northwestern, And all these student newspapers are always the daily whatever.
Well, they don't have many creative names out there.
They described the running, in quotes, of players by other players who, in their opinion, needed punished. So this was players deciding that other players were needing to be punished. This was usually older players serving notice to the younger ones for mistakes in practice. An unarmed player received what he termed inhumane behavior to the school, or reported what he termed as inhumane behavior to the school in November of 2022. Now, when we say running, what is running? It's being restrained by a group of masked upperclassmen who would dry hump the player in a darkened locker room. The reporting player described it as an abrasive and barbaric culture.
It's probably a good description.
So it almost sounds like kind of like a cultish type of thing where they would even mask themselves up.
So you said this was in November they reported
November
this?
2022.
And it's interesting how this only comes out in July.
Yeah.
It's weird how that works.
Other punishment included naked quarterback center exchanges and the car wash where players, the car washing quotes, where players stripped naked and would run through the shower entrance and spin to try to avoid forcing the ones who entered the players lined up and would spin around, forcing the people who had entered the shower to rub up against a naked man. So a lot of nudity here.
And you said this was players doing this?
Yeah, players doing this to other players. Northwestern players issued a statement denying the allegations, saying they were exaggerated and twisted into lies. They also absolved Coach Fitz of being involved in any of the incidents. But the student paper in a story revealed that Coach Fitzgerald knew of the ritual and would signal during practice what players should be penalized. So apparently he had some kind of system to notify the other players of which players he wanted punished. July 10th, Coach Fitz was fired.
Yeah.
Northwestern president came out and said, in quotes, hazing was widespread and clearly not a secret within the program, end quote. And Michael Shields, the Northwestern president, that's his name. Then several former players revealed details of the hazing. 11 current or former players said that the hazing had been ongoing and cited a few incidences where former players confirmed that hazing was systematic and dated back many, many years.
So this was okay, I don't really know a whole lot about this. I didn't know. So it's a thing where the players were doing stupid nude things with each other. And then the coach found out about it, and he decided, let's just use this to punish players for...
Well, no, they're saying the coach knew about it.
No, that's what I said. He knew about it, and then he used it to his punishment advantage.
Well, he initiated it, and then the players carried out. Because they would say, and he would signal in practice which players he wanted to get punished.
No, yeah,
and
but he wasn't the one that came up with the idea.
Yeah, he didn't come up with the ideas of how to punish him, but he came up with the idea to have him punished in some way or form.
Yes, that's what I was saying.
Oh, okay.
So they had this car wash thing, and he goes, let's just use this to punish certain people.
Mm-hmm.
So that's stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
President Rhule went on to say that the head coach is ultimately responsible for the culture of the team. Coach had an opportunity to learn what was happening.
Instead, he used it to his advantage.
Coach Fitzgerald put out a statement saying he was unaware of the alleged incidents, then added he had hired a legal counsel.
Oh, well, that's usually a good sign.
Yeah. So July 17th, 8 former players retained a law firm to pursue legal action against the university. And their last names were Levin and Percontis. And they're partnering with Ben Crump, who's a lawyer and a civil rights attorney.
Crump.
Ben
Get
Crump.
Get Crump.
Yep. No players have been publicly disciplined, and the defensive coordinator has been promoted to head coach. David Brom is the defensive coordinator. He's now head coach, and that the rest of the staff has been retained. So Coach Fitz was the only one let go.
But did these other coaches not know about this?
I would assume they did, but so far, no. Then the day later, a lawsuit was filed saying that hazing activities were, assaulting, illegal, and often sexual in advance in nature.
Yeah.
Quotes. Named in the lawsuit were Coach Fitz, the university president Schill, who I mentioned, former university president Shapiro, VP for athletics Derek Gregg, and the board of trustees, and has demanded a trial by jury. They want a trial by jury.
Makes sense. Considering that there was allegations of this from half a year ago.
Same day, 4-star freshman linebacker Nile Glover has become the first player to announce his decision to transfer. The Ohio native was the 25th rated linebacker and the third player overall, or the 300th ranked player overall for class of 2023. So he was one of their top recruits, and now he's in the portal. 4 of the players that came forward were identified: Lloyd Yates, who in quotes said, "We felt like we had to go with it," unquote. Warren Miles Long, quote, "We had no reference point," unquote, because he said they were freshmen, they didn't know any better. Tom Carnifax, quote, "Dad didn't believe me," quote. So he told his dad, and his dad didn't believe him. And he said after this news all came out, his dad apologized to him. And then last player identified was Simba Short, and he, in quotes, said, "We lived in fear." Now, the baseball coach at Northwestern has also been fired, Jim Foster, and he's had 15 players leave the program, and he's been accused of bullying and abusive behavior, and there's also been a few allegations with the volleyball program. And the last thing I have is Ben Crump, the attorney that had been retained, plans on filing more than 30 lawsuits involving athletes and mascots from a variety of sports. So this thing kind of started just a throwaway headline on Friday. Within 2 weeks, it's pretty much encompassing the whole campus right now. And Northwestern's got a lot to work on, and something to reset their culture. And like you mentioned, I can't think that Coach Fitzgerald was the only coach that knew anything about this. The other coaches had to have some kind of knowledge of it, just because, if any of their players at their position that they coach would probably be showing signs of this being treated this way or what have you. I mean, I don't care who you are. If you have to deal with this kind of situation, it's got to affect you, mentally as well as physically.
Well, assuming all of them are in the locker room, too.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how none of them would know about it. Not know about it.
Yeah.
And then the fact that it's in other sports, or not that necessarily thing, but that there's other instances of bullying and stuff, and that there's reports back from November 2022. You don't want to, I'm not trying to throw any insinuations out there because I don't know, but it sounds like if there was reports of this bullying and all these in different sports being thrown to the athletic department or whatever, they don't seem to really care about it. Or they kind of pull it by the wayside. They're allowing it to happen.
Yeah, they brushed it aside.
So now they got toxic cultures and a bunch of different. So that seems like a higher up thing too, more than just the programs themselves.
And this one lawyer is planning on filing 30 lawsuits by himself, and there's other players that are going to have talked about filing suits. So unless they put them on like one big class action lawsuit, I mean, Northwestern could be dealing with lawsuits for years.
Especially because it seems like the players initiated at least the football part, but then the coach did nothing by, oh, cool, let me just partake in this shitty bullying and sexual assault behavior. Yeah.
And you have at least 8 former players coming forward as of the time I took all these notes, saying that this has been going on for years.
Yeah.
So this isn't just something in the last since November 22. This has gone back several years.
There's no way that they don't know about it.
And the one former player who I mentioned, what was his name? Warren Miles Long. He's talking about when he was a freshman, this was going on, and so he's already graduated and moved on. So you're talking at least 5 years, 6 years that this has been going on, according to him.
Yeah. Is this why there's that photo of Matt Rhule with the volleyball team?
No.
Did you see that photo of him?
That's because they're having the big volleyball match at Memorial Stadium coming up.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, then I thought people were talking about how it was like a subtle jab.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe. I didn't hear anything about
it. But that could just be Twitter being stupid.
Maybe.
So, because then you mentioned the volleyball team. Because I was wondering what that was about. Mm-hmm. Because that seems like an obvious connection.
Yeah, that match is coming up in a couple weeks, I think.
It's in August.
Yeah.
We got tickets.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, August comes on Monday.
Yeah, I got to make sure I ask for that day off from work. No.
So, yeah. So, not to jump out of the Northwestern thing really quick, but, yeah, Nebraska's hoping to set the all-time attendance for a women's sporting event. So, I think they'll do it. But, yeah, jumping back to Northwestern, sorry. I expect a lot more fallout from this and a lot more people probably departing the program, and it could be some people up in the upper administration, that are going to be on the chopping block before this is all said and done.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So, yep. And plus, they have the Ryan family, who's their big donors, have just donated a bunch of money to build a brand new football stadium. So who knows how this will be affected by that.
Yeah.
So
condolences to all the players and people affected by these terrible programs and cultures being created by or being allowed by Northwestern.
Yeah.
So hopefully they can get someone in there to hopefully create a non-toxic culture.
Yeah.
So, well, because we're on football, I guess I got football news.
Well,
I
NFL
know you,
or college, because that's basically all the college stuff I had.
So that's why I figured we moved to NFL.
Yeah,
I got
fine.
NFL stuff.
That's cool.
Do you want to do?
But,
you want to do the game I mentioned, or do you want to do the news?
Whatever you want to do.
for
But
us?
I just want to say I'll keep my eye on the Northwestern situation, and if anything else big comes about, I mean you'll hear about it, but we'll talk about it when time comes. So.
Of course. Speaking of that, did we ever talk about Live Golf merging with PGA?
No,
But we still don't know what's kind of happening with that, do we?
Well, basically, there was a lawsuit filed by Liv against the PGA, and the PGA just basically decided that they didn't have enough money to continually fight the Live Golf, so they decided to merge with them. And a bunch of the players like Rory and Tiger and people like that are all upset.
Yeah.
Because not that they didn't get the big money they were offered, but that they stayed back to PGA because they thought it was the moral thing to do.
And then they just gave in.
And then the PGA caved and just joined anyway. So
okay,
it'll be interesting to see going ahead what happens. I mean, I've heard rumors of the players going out and starting their own program or league. So
yeah. Well, I saw they merged. I just never because I know we talked about that a long time ago.
Yeah, the very first
Keeping
episode, the very first story I had was Live Golf, and please don't go back and listen to that episode. The first episode, I just cringe when I go back and listen to it.
That's okay. I cringe on this episode too.
Yeah, well, I cringe when you talk. So
you're funny.
But,
all right.
but
So we'll start.
we had our soundboard working.
We'll
that
start
would
with
be
news
better.
because you had news about something too that I forgot to write down. So if you want to mention that,
Well, I need a break because I've been talking a lot. So you go ahead, and then
that's because you were reading your thing verbatim.
I didn't read it verbatim. I skipped some of it.
It was pretty much verbatim. I saw you.
I spent a lot of time working on that.
Well, that's good. It's a good point in story, but we probably could have recapped it a little bit.
I felt like a real reporter.
It's okay.
No, the NFL news I have is just, and it's a little bit old, but the sale of the Washington Commanders to a group headed by Josh Harris has been approved unanimously by the NFL owners. The Harris Group is paying $6.05 billion, a record for a North American franchise. But the good news is Josh Harris grew up in the D.C. area and was a big fan of the Washington teams as he was growing up. So he's committed to bringing back a winner there and doing what's best for the Commanders and their fans.
I forgot you had that news. I wasn't referring to that one. I was referring to the other one. Justin Herbert extension.
Oh, well, that was more nugget. But, yeah, Justin Herbert, the quarterback for the Chargers, signed a $262 million contract for 5 years. He's the fourth quarterback now to make over $50 million a year in the NFL now. And Joe Burrow's agent is sitting back, just sucking all that in and waiting for his time. He's due for a contract extension pretty soon here.
Yeah, he'll get it.
He did hyperextend his knee yesterday in practice, by the way, and he's going to be out for several weeks. But they said it's not a serious injury. So that was all my NFL tidbits. So you go ahead with yours.
All right. Well, I got a decent bit.
Okay.
And I also kind of wanted to involve in some discussion. So if your voice hurts, you may want to get ready to start talking again.
All right.
Well, we'll see. All right. First thing I had, good old Aaron Rodgers, my best friend. My best friend turned enemy. I'm joking. He's not my enemy. I still love him. But he works for the Jets now.
Let me tell you about my best friend.
Your voice don't seem to hurt that much.
That's the song from the commercials he was doing with Clay Matthews.
Yeah.
I'm like a bird.
You ever watch Robin Big? That was their theme song, too.
I saw parts of it.
Yeah.
Is that the Rob Dyrdek from the Fantasy Factory?
Yeah, and then
Chanel West Coast.
Well, it was from the Fantasy
Sterling?
Factory. It was their first show.
Yeah. I've never
It
seen parts
was
of that.
him and Big Black. They had like a
Yeah.
friend show,
Yeah.
and so they would just do stupid shit.
I remember they one episode they bought an ice cream truck and tricked it out and were out there driving it around or something. So
That could be Fantasy Factory too. I don't know. I don't get all the stupid shows confused. But Aaron Rodgers reworked his contract, so he was set to make $110 million, but he cut his contract by $35 million. So now he's just going to be 2 years, $75 million. So that because he said he's having so much fun with the New York Jets that he doesn't plan on it being a 1 year commitment because he said he knew what the Jets gave up for him. So it'd be unfair for him to damage the organization and only stay there for a year.
calling all former Packers.
So, yeah.
Report to New York.
So shout out Aaron Rodgers for being such a saint with the Jets ownership and cutting $35 million.
Speaking of that, I did see a little blurb that Dalvin Cook expects to sign with the Jets the next week or so.
Do they need him?
I don't think
They
so.
have
They have the rookie from Iowa State.
Brees
got
Hall
injured,
and,
did really good, and they have a couple of veterans.
Yeah, who's the other guy? God damn it, he was on my fantasy team.
Wow.
It's Brees Hall and
I remember good players.
it's Brees Hall and the other one, and then like every time I'd start the one, the other one would score because that's how it always fucking works.
You sound like Steve. That's what he would always say. I always start the wrong guy. I go, that's what you get for having multiple players on one team.
But that's because they be hurt and stuff, so it just bothered me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so shout out Aaron Rodgers for reworking his contract, I guess. So because he wants to be all happy and bright with the Jets.
Happy and bright.
But I mean, in fairness, he was kind of pissed off at he was pissed off with Michael Carter was the running back, by the way. I couldn't think of his name.
Oh yeah, from North Carolina.
Yes, but I mean, yeah, he's kind of pissed at Green Bay, so they needed to pay him all that money to show that they cared about him. But then he left anyways, and now he's happy to be where he is, so he can rework because he wants to win the Super Bowl. So, and he's getting all the former Packers to come play with him, so that's cool. Next thing, did you see all the running back controversy?
I did see that.
So
They did rework a deal with Saquon to get him into camp.
yes, so
But it wasn't much of a raise. It was like apparently he was playing under a tender, and there's a kind of a rule that you can rework a contract even though the player's under,
yeah.
playing under a tender.
They said it was like a adjusted franchise. So this was like an adjusted franchise tag deal for like
yes.
1 year, $10 million. And he said he thought about sitting out, but this is my Lisa reference. He said he had an epiphany because that one time I said epiphany when I was reading it off a card. So he had an epiphany about signing with
That's something
the Giants
That's
and
something
playing.
a Fettler would say.
Because he said he wasn't. He's going to be completely honest. He would be if he didn't say he wasn't disappointed that he didn't get his big extension that he wanted with the Giants.
Yeah.
But he said if he sat out and then the Giants were bad, it wouldn't be a good look for future reference if he wanted to get an extension that he hopes for. So that's why he kind of eventually decided on signing and playing.
Well, there were several backs who weren't getting extensions, right?
Yes. And then this is when did you see Derrick
Derrick Henry?
Henry's? Did you see his tweet?
No.
So he had a big tweet because someone.
On the X.
Well, this was when it was
He
still
tweeted
Twitter.
on the X.
You know Matt Miller for ESPN?
Yes.
I don't know who he is.
Millen
but
or Miller?
Miller. Matt Miller, ESPN NFL draft analyst and insider.
Maybe, I don't know.
That's just his Twitter account. And
Okay.
anyone can be fake on Twitter now. But he said, been saying it for years. Number 1, draft a running back. Number 2, play the running back if he's good. Number 3, franchise tag the running back one time. And then, after that, he put, step 1, draft a running back. So he was showing that, you shouldn't extend it. And then this is what Derrick Henry retweeted and said, at this point, just take the running back position out of the game then. The ones that want to be great and work as hard as they can to give their all to an organization just seems like it doesn't even matter. I'm with every running back that's fighting to get what they deserve.
Look at you reading something verbatim. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, and I did it with some pizzazz, unlike you.
Sorry.
So,
I'll try to have more pizzazz from now.
that's less pizzazz.
Oh, sorry. I'll try to have more pizzazz.
All right, this is when we mute your mic.
Okay.
But, no, so what do you think about the running back controversy? Because it is a position that people kind of fall off fairly quickly because it's such a workhorse position.
Well, the way the game's gone now, not many teams use one back for 3 downs. There's like they play multiple backs.
Yes.
And so you can't really have they think the value for one player isn't enough to pay him so much where, his production and value is more than the other ones that are playing. Like the Steelers have Najee Harris and Jalen Warren. Well, Jalen Warren played quite a bit, especially when Najee was hurt a few games, and he produced. So they just don't think that position has much value. And I think I read somewhere where the average value of the running backs is only above punters and defensive linemen or offensive linemen, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, they're really low on the hierarchy of average pay per player.
Yes.
But, I follow recruiting a lot. Mel Kiper always says never take a running back in the first round because the value is just not there. You can always find good backs later. So basically it's just, supply and demand. They think there's more of a supply of running backs than there are demands for running backs. So they, the thought pattern nowadays is, it's more of a passing league now anyway, so you need more of a pass-catching back. When I was growing up, it was pound the rock. It was Barry Sanders, it was Walter Payton, it was Emmitt Smith, Thurman Thomas, John Riggins. These big guys would just pound the ball in there. Franco Harris, they'd run the ball, many times, 30, 40 times a game. Well, it's gone, it's gone 180 degrees now, where it's more of a passing influence and. Having multiple people at multiple positions. The only position that really relies on one person anymore really is the quarterback. I mean, yeah, you're a lineman, but they alternate people in and out, to try to keep them fresh and stuff. So it's just a different world, and the teams just don't value the running back position like they used to. I mean, now the Steelers did go out and draft Najee in the first round, but where he's at in his next couple of years when his contract's up, it'll be interesting to see where he's at.
Wasn't he the first running back taken too?
Yeah.
So I guess if
it
you're
was at pick 22, I think it was.
So I think there's a difference between taking like the top guy and then like if you're taking like just like 4 running backs going in the first round. That's a little.
One running back went last year, and then I think 2 this past year went, and that's because I think Detroit surprised some people with their pick of that back, and his name's escaping me right now, but because there's the big Robinson back out of Texas that went, and then this Alabama, I think it was Alabama third string running back that Detroit grabbed. So,
well, this is why versatile running backs are good too. Mm-hmm. Guys who can play in the pass game and guys who can block. This just makes them more valuable. So, well, it's it's a shame, and especially for a guy like Saquon too, who's really good, but he has a bad injury history.
Well, he came off injury from 2 years ago and really bounced back last year, and he actually in our fantasy episode. He was one of the guys we talked about, taking a look at.
Yeah.
We thought he had a good chance to bounce back.
So.
And he did. So.
Yeah. So I understand the frustration, but it's kind of a shame. So I was just curious about your thoughts on it.
Yeah. Well.
And that was very good. You said that very eloquently.
Well, thank you.
Off the cuff. Good job.
It's just these players get paid millions of dollars, and I just don't know where these teams come up with the money. I know they get, you got. It's all TV deals and TV rights and that kind of stuff because no team's selling enough tickets and selling enough hot dogs and popcorn to pay, let alone one player's salary than the whole effing team.
Well, I don't know. Those hot dogs be $20 bucks.
Well, they could.
Beers are like $20.
Oh, I did.
And parking. Jesus.
I did see the Panthers named Bryce Young as their starting quarterback. Already,
I did see that too. That's also good NFL news that I didn't have down. So yeah. Good job. I did see that on the scroll.
Well, you are the NFL correspondent here at Fast Intentions. I'm the college football correspondent here at Fast Intentions.
You don't have to keep saying here at Fast Intentions. The Fast Intentions isn't a building. Oh. Well, I guess it is in my room.
Well, and everybody could see a little bit of your room on the YouTube video if you look up our video chat with Glenn and Wayne.
Yeah. I tried to do some fancy video with it, but it didn't work, so I just kind of put a bare bones up there. Because theirs was like vertical, and then ours is horizontal, so it kind of bothered me. Oh. So I was thinking of kind of putting the blur on it, but we went back and forth so much, it was just a pain in the ass. I wasn't doing all that. Yeah. So, okay. So that's all my NFL news, but I have a fun NFL game for you.
All right. Do we have an NFL game sounder?
That's
ESPN.
Yeah,
that's copyrighted. Take that out of there. Edit.
But that's why I just said it out loud. Okay. Well, everyone's...
I'm making up a game show sound.
Shut up! Emmett wouldn't be able to recreate that sound. She'd be like, oh.
Ladle.
You're good. All right, so everyone's favorite... Oh, sorry.
Edit.
Everyone's favorite shitty game's coming out soon. Madden 24. Woo!
It's a shitty game? I
Yeah.
thought Madden was the way to go.
No, it's not. Because EA Sports makes the same crappy game every year because no one else makes football games.
If it's in the game, it's in the game.
They don't have any competition. It's like NBA 2K is not as good anymore because they stopped making NBA Live. They don't have like competition anymore.
I was going to say, because they had 3K?
So now they can make the same game and then get so much money off of people buying like currency
Suckers.
and cards and stuff.
There's
So-
one born every minute.
So they make so much money.
Oh, there's
these
another one
games
being
every
born.
year.
Sucker.
Okay, so but they released the top 10. Well, they've released more than this now, but at first they released the top 10 of each position.
Okay.
So I was curious if you wanted to kind of guess who the top 10 were at each, and where they ranked.
Oh, boy.
Not at each position, but
I'm out of football mode right now.
all right. Well, get in football mode.
Well, it's not August yet.
Well, we'll start easy.
I told Mike at work, I said, every year I start preparing for fantasy later and later and later.
It's okay. I'll prepare the day of.
Well, I'm excited because you're running the draft this year, right?
No,
You're not going to do that?
no,
Oh, okay.
I don't plan on it.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
You're the one that had me buying shirts for you to pass out already, so you're planning it.
One shirt. I had you buy one shirt.
I had Savannah bananas.
That you stood in line for 40 minutes for.
Yep, and then I had
And you missed-
I had
you-
binoculars so I could see the game
and
all
you-
the way back in the outfield.
And you didn't get your chicken tenders and fries.
Son of a bitch. I bought like a grilled chicken wrap at the gas station.
We'll have chicken tenders at the other draft.
I'll have chicken tenders when I go to Soldier Field and go see the Packers play.
Oh, nice.
Week 1, baby. I saw Jordan Love's first career start in Kansas City. I'm going to see his second career start in Chicago.
Ooh.
So I saw his first career touchdown, too.
How do you do in that first career game?
They lost.
Oh.
But
Well, if they lose this time,
Mahomes played really bad. And they lost by 6, and that's when Mason Crosby got 2 of his field goals blocked. So they could have tied it. So anyway, we'll start with quarterbacks, because this will probably be the easiest one for your non-football brain to get. How do you want to do this? Do you want to guess like the order, or do you just want to
I ain't
guess
going
who's
to
in the
guess the
top?
order.
Well, just see. Who
Scott-
do you think they ranked the top quarterback?
Patrick Mahomes.
Do you know what his overall is?
Probably 99.
Yes, exactly. Good job, buddy. 99.
That's right.
Because, you know, most of the time in games, 99's like so like if someone's ridiculous, they'll put someone at 99. Like in WWE, Roman Reigns is 99. Why? Because he hasn't got pinned in 4 years. So it makes sense he's a 99. But now they have to have the little 99 club where they hand out the little cool things to people because they're fucking losers. But,
I got a new motto. If it's in the game, it's in my head.
okay, who do you think they ranked the second best?
Jalen Hurts.
No, he's 5th.
What?
He's at 88 overall. He's 11 overall less.
Wow.
From
Aaron
1st to
Rodgers.
5th. No, he's 8th.
Joe Burrow.
He's 2nd, yes. 95 overall. Joe Burrow.
Nice.
Thoughts on him being 2nd?
I think Mahomes is a clear number 1. And,
We'll do our top 10
There's a
quarterback
scramble.
ranking before the season starts again, like we did last year.
how about the gentleman I just mentioned earlier who got a 5-year extension, Justin Herbert?
He's 6.
Oh, 6.
He's 87 overall. Aaron Rodgers is at 8th at 86.
Nice. Oh.
But Herbert's actually tied for 6th. There's someone tied with him, above Aaron Rodgers.
I know it's not Kenny Pickett.
He's not in the top 10. Nor is Jordan Love,
I
so.
don't think so. Dak Prescott?
Yes, he is tied with Justin Herbert.
Nice.
What do you think about Dak Prescott being higher than Aaron Rodgers?
Well, based on what he has around him, but he's got to cut back on his interceptions. That's what he's talked about all offseason.
Wait, didn't he get hurt at the beginning of last year, too?
Yeah, he has.
He missed a few weeks,
He has a little
didn't
bit of injury history. Yeah,
So, okay, so you're missing 3 and you're missing 4.
I'm missing 3. Ranked 3rd and 4th.
Yes. You haven't mentioned him yet.
Justin Fields.
No, he's not. He's not in the top 10.
Yeah, he's probably not in the top 20. Let me see.
I think Jordan Love's like a 70. You want to hear who you've named so far?
No, I'm peeking up here. Oh, Josh Allen.
Yes, he's 3rd.
Yes.
94 overall.
Yes.
And then you're missing 4th.
4th.
91 overall. 3 below Josh Allen, but 3 higher than Jalen Hurts.
It's not Danny Dimes.
It's not Danny. He's not in the top 10.
It's not Kyler Murray.
Nope. He's not in the
Not
top
Bryce
10.
Young.
He's not in the top 10. If you happen to say who 9 and 10 is, I'll mark them for you. We won't go this in depth.
Kirk Cousins.
He's 9th.
Okay.
84 overall. 1 point guy you're missing, I think.
Dang it.
You gotta hope he flocks into your head.
The hated Lamar Jackson.
Yes, he is 4th.
Yes.
And 10th is Tua Tagovailoa.
Oh, yeah. Good pronunciation.
Yes.
Brother plays in Maryland.
Yes, he does. What's it? Tulia? Is he Tulia?
I think so.
Tulia Tagovailoa?
Yeah.
Look at me. I could be Hawaiian.
You could be.
Have you seen Tua's full real name? It's like blah, 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 blah. That's how you pronounce
I
it
haven't
too.
seen that. You don't need to Google it.
I'm about to.
All right.
Tua Tagovailoa. Okay, but
I'll sing during the intermission.
we'll start on running backs. Can you guess who they have as the top-rated running back in the league?
Saquon Barkley.
No, he's 5th.
What?
93 overall.
He better get a new contract.
Look at Tua's first name. That's his actual first name.
2-1, Agamanapa de Pedola Donnie.
Let me spell it for the audience. Tua. Okay, so that's how we know him as Tua.
Yes.
But then behind that there's Nigamaneuolepola. Tongo Vailoa. Oh, that's just his last name. I was like, oh, that's pretty similar to his first name. All right, so Saquon Barkley's
He has a first name?
Saquon Barkley's 5th.
Okay.
93 overall. There's
Derrick Henry.
He's 4th, 94. There's no 99 overall running back, by the way.
What? Najee Harris.
He's not in the top 10.
What? Blasphemers.
That's some bias right there.
Blasphemes. Let me think here.
So looking at the teams on the wall again.
So I'm trying to jog my memory. Jonathan Taylor.
He is 8th, 89
Eighth?
overall.
Wow.
People who
He was a solid overall number 1 pick last year.
someone drafted him in fantasy and realized how bad he was, so they marked him all the way down here.
I guess.
Okay, so there's a tie for 9th, who's 9 and 10, and then Jonathan Taylor's tied with someone else.
Well, Ezekiel's not with the Cowboys anymore.
He's not in the top 10.
Did they have Pollard in there?
Yes, he's tied for number 9.
Oh, okay.
88 overall.
I was wondering if they might have snuck him in there.
They have another free agent running back in the top 10. That's not Zeke.
The guy from Detroit
No.
that scored all the touchdowns, Jamal Williams?
No, he's not in there.
Oh.
Another free agent, though. Guy got released. It's pretty good. Plays for another shitty team.
A Packer that got released.
No, I said shitty team.
Well, yeah.
I said shitty team.
Yeah.
Okay, Todd, you know what I mean when I'm saying this.
Yes.
You're missing 1, 2, and 3, Dad.
Wow. I'm really mentally out of it. Kareem Hunt.
No, he's not in there.
Or not Kareem Hunt.
His
Nick
teammate.
Chubb.
Yes, he's the first running back, 97 overall.
Yeah.
You're missing a.
Good thing I came with the theme song, so I'm not playing the game very well.
No, you're not.
I don't know. You're going to have to give me help.
Jesus Christ. All right, well, one of them, like I said, is a free agent that got released from a shitty team, a team that I don't like.
Dalvin Cook, then?
Yes, he's 6.
Oh, wow. Okay. I thought of him, but I thought, well...
This guy is an alliteration, and he likes to gamble. That's your hint. He likes to gamble, and he's an alliteration. It's a good hint if you think about it.
I'm sure it is, but I'm just not... It's not coming.
One's very smart. He went to a smart school.
Harvard?
No, but he also got traded last year in the middle of the season. He went to a smart school.
It's not helping me. My brain's not working.
Not in a Cardinal state of mind?
No.
It's Christian McCaffrey.
Okay.
2nd.
All right.
And you're missing Josh Jacobs.
Oh.
He likes to gamble because he plays in Vegas and his name is an alliteration. I thought that was good.
It was. I was thinking about the Raider back, but I couldn't think of his name.
All right. Austin Eckler was tied with Jonathan Taylor at 89. And then Aaron Jones is tied with Tony Pollard at 88. So
Aaron Jones from a shitty team.
well, stop. I'm scared to ask you about cornerbacks and edge rushers because the running backs was kind of a struggle.
Well, no receivers?
Receivers is right here. We're going to do that. And then
Justin Jefferson.
he is number 1. And can you guess what his overall is?
95.
99
Ooh.
overall.
I had him on my team. He was nowhere at 99.
Well, I'll just read the cornerback and the edge because I'm scared about you trying to guess those.
T.J. Watt.
He's in there, but we're going with wide receivers right now.
Okay.
You got number 1. Who do you think's number 2?
The big dude out of Seattle.
DK Metcalf?
Yes.
He's not in here.
What?
He's not a top 10 running quarterback.
Wait, he's a receiver.
That's running back. He's a top 10 receiver, yes.
No, I'm not getting any of these guys.
Yeah. They didn't like Geno Smith enough, apparently. Because he's not a top 10 quarterback.
The big dude in Philadelphia, the big muscly guy they traded for.
You're really struggling with names today, aren't you?
I know. I am.
A.J. Brown.
A.J. Brown.
He's 9th. 91 overall.
Well, it's been hot out, so I've been...
Yeah, heat stroke going
I
on.
might have some heat stroke. You better call it anyway. That's when the show's over. The Bronco guy from Tennessee.
No, there's no Bronco guy in here.
The dude from Cincinnati. From LSU.
Why do you already know the teams they play for? You can't think of it in here. Jamar Chase. He's 6. 94 overall. My first round pick last year. Got me 3rd place. Thank you, Jamar. Even though he's hurt for like 8 weeks. Yeah, he was hurt all year. That's probably why he's low.
The dude from the Dallas Cowboys?
He used to play for the Dallas Cowboys. CeeDee Lamb's not in here.
He's not?
No. A guy who used to play for them.
That's interesting. Oh, Des Bryant?
No. He's a dog now. He's a dog now.
Georgia? He's in Georgia?
No.
Georgia.
No, the dog pound.
Oh, Cleveland. Number 2. Where's number 2?
Oh, Amari.
Yeah, I was going to say
Amari
I was
Cooper?
say Aaron Cooper, but I knew that wasn't right. But
Okay.
DB Cooper.
This guy's really fast.
Where's the money, DB Cooper?
This guy's really fast. And rated 2nd.
Your girlfriends would say it was you.
He's very fast, like a cheetah. Like a cheetah.
He cheats?
Like a cheetah.
Cheetah? Spots? He got spots?
Hurry up, Dad. Guess the name. He's fast like a cheetah. How do we have a sports podcast? It's Tyreek Hill.
I don't know.
This guy used to play for the
Oh,
Packers.
you meant like a cheater, not cheetah.
No, like a cheetah.
Oh, well, he's a cheater too. All right.
Isn't his Twitter name is Cheetah? I'm very certain.
I don't follow him on the
But he's fast as fuck. You haven't seen the videos of him racing
I'm fast
people?
as fuck, boy.
Oh, Jesus.
I seen that little thing. Some little dog running around.
Okay. He used to play for the Packers.
Used to play for a shitty team.
He's the 3rd-rated receiver. He also likes to gamble.
The dude out of Iowa State?
No, he's not from Iowa State.
MVS?
No. He's not a top 10 wide receiver.
Well, I don't know these lists. It could be.
Dad, he loved the
You got to tell me, son. My brain just ain't working.
Devontae Adams.
Devontae Adams.
You thought Marquez Valdez Scantling before Devontae Adams.
That's right.
Stephon Diggs is 4th. This was sad. This is a terrible segment. I'm
was.
cutting this shit out. This is a good segment, but you suck. Cooper Kupp's 5th. DeAndre Hopkins is 7th, and Terry McLaurin's 8th.
Oh, scoring Terry McLaurin.
Well, you disappointed me, so I don't even want to do the other 2 positions.
I'm sorry.
You suck.
It's late on a Friday night.
You're the one that wanted to do it on a Friday night. I was like, let's do it Sunday. You go, we can do it at 8:30 p.m. on Friday night.
It's not 8:30 p.m.
Well, you've said it may be 8:30.
Well, we've been working 12-hour days. It's only 8 o'clock now.
All right, well. Oh, yeah, well. You don't get to hear who the CBs and the edges are.
All right. Well, I'm sorry for disappointing you.
Yeah, you disappointed me. You couldn't even think of Devontae Adams. All right. Well, I really just want to go over some of the MLB Trade Deadline stuff going on.
Okay.
Because that's coming up soon.
Okay.
And there was a few trades that happened.
Yeah, something went down today.
So, yeah.
And I do have a baseball note when we're done with this. So.
Okay, well, the main story about MLB free agency, kind of the main topic going on, was Shohei Ohtani get traded?
No, he will not.
Yes, the Angels came out and announced that they won't trade him.
And they made a move.
They did make a move, but before we get to that, I wanted to talk about the Ohtani thing. Do you think that's the right move for them?
No.
Do you think they should have traded him?
Yes.
Why?
Because Ohtani and the few players they're going to pick up won't be enough for them to win. They might get to the playoffs, but they aren't going to have enough to win the World Series is what their ultimate goal is. Trading Ohtani away would likely get you at least 3 solid pieces, maybe a 4th, and maybe a solid major league player coming back your way.
Even though he's only under contract for the rest of this year.
Yeah.
So, but what do you think about the Angels? Maybe they want to try and re-sign him.
Well,
do you think he's pretty much out the door, or do you think there's a chance they could re-sign him?
It depends on what he's thinking. I mean, if he gives him some of the offseason to try to make some moves to do something, then maybe. But if he's wants to head out the door, then he'll end up in New York or with the Dodgers or somebody like that, or San Francisco, a bigger market.
See, for me, it kind of depends on what the Angels want to do. Because if they decide they want to try and re-sign Ohtani, I mean, I know they want to win the World Series, but just name recognition, all the media attention, all the fans from around the world, ticket sales. I think the Angels are very beneficial just re-signing him anyways for all the attention that they would get, especially with him and Mike Trout, the two best players in the league.
Yeah, but they still can't win with those two, which is ridiculous.
But at one point does a team kind of realize, well, at least we can get like merchandise and like tickets and all that kind of out of it too. Because sometimes, I guess, making money is just as important as winning awards. To the owners, the fans may not agree.
Your fans don't want to hear that. Your fans want to hear that you're trying to build a winner.
But I think they would agree. I think they'd be happy with Shohei Ohtani getting re-signed. So it depends. If they just let him go, it's kind of not a good move. But then they're probably going to try and re-sign him. And I think if you would trade him, it kind of just shuts the door on that ever happening.
Yeah, I'm sure, though, one of the stipulations for a team trying to trade for him would have been that they would have wanted a chance to try to work out a contract with him. Okay. Contract extension with him before.
Okay. And then kind of the other big topic that's going on right now is the White Sox. Their fire sale is already going ballistic. Everyone's going.
That's what they did several years ago and got a lot of good players back, and it hasn't produced yet.
A lot of prospects coming their way. Like I said, it's kind of sad. Last year, they were all World Series prediction winners. They made all those moves to kind of get better. I thought they had a chance to maybe compete for a wild card this year. Even though they lost Jose Abreu, they still had some decent guys, but they just been crappy all year.
Well, Lucas Giolito was one of their big acquisitions several years ago when they started rebuilding the franchise, and he was one of the guys that just dealt the other day. Okay. Do
you want to hear the trades they made?
Sure.
All right, so they traded Lance Lynn and Joe Kelly. Joe Kelly, another former Red Sox, going to the Dodgers.
Machine Gun Kelly, yeah, that came down today.
The Dodgers have like 18,000 Red Sox on their team now. And they traded him for Trace Thompson, Klay Thompson's brother. So shout him out. And 2 pitching prospects.
Nice.
And then they traded Kendall Graveman back to the Astros. Again, who's just with the Astros. Because do you remember when Seattle traded him to Houston? Because that's when Seattle had a chance to make the wild card that first year, and they traded him, and all the players were pissed at the management. Mm-hmm. But they traded him for some catcher I never heard of, Corey Lee. He may be a prospect.
Probably.
And then they traded Lucas Giolito and Ronaldo Lopez, 2 good starter and a good reliever, to the Angels for 2 prospects. So, I think it's just kind of crazy how the White Sox, their fall from grace.
Well, speaking of prospects, I do believe they said when the Angels made that deal, they traded 2 of their top 3 prospects, and they only had, according to the reports I heard, they only had really 3 good prospects in their system, and they just traded 2 of them.
Well, they're probably trying to win now. They're trying to make Ohtani want to stay.
They are. And
then Giolito, I think, has a few years left on this deal, so that's like a good trade for them. Because we always talk about the Angels need pitching.
Yeah.
Because they tried to get guys like Noah Syndergaard to kind of make a revitalization. Speaking of Syndergaard, he just got traded again. But
yeah, I did see that.
We'll talk about that in a sec.
Okay.
But yeah, pitching's kind of always the big Achilles heel. But even because their hitting was always fairly decent. Because then they signed Rendon, who's been unhealthy and hasn't been as good. And then Trout's always hurt. Now they have Ohtani. But now they don't have a lot of good pieces kind of around. So they're a team that has to try and compete with a not good farm system and kind of an average team around their star players. So it'll be interesting to see how they do because they're still technically in the playoff hunt as of now. In the wild card, they are 3 games out from Toronto. And they're behind the Yankees and the Red Sox.
Ooh.
So, all right. And then the other moves that I thought were important enough to talk about.
Okay.
David Robertson got traded to the Marlins for 2 minor leaguers from the Mets. So the Mets will...
Robertson.
What did I say?
You said Robinson.
Oh, I meant Robertson. Apologies. Thank you for correcting me.
No problem.
So, yes.
It's the first time you ever said that.
That's because I hate it when you do it sometimes. But, yes. So, another disappointing season, the Mets have the biggest payroll in baseball by far. Ooh, that's creepy. Sorry, I can't, talk and look at that at the same time. It's like the devil's coming out from the center of the earth. That's creepy. It was a photo of... You should share down the Fast Attention's Twitter page.
I should.
So, yeah, the Mets' big fall from grace. They have the biggest payroll. Had a lot of expectations this year. Started off poorly when they lost Edwin Diaz to the World Baseball Classic. And then other injuries has kind of derailed this season. So it's kind of a big disappointment for them. Especially because I thought they could. I don't think I picked them to win the East, but thought they could definitely compete in that division with the Braves, who were by far probably the best team in baseball. So, and then I wrote this down for fun. Carlos Santana got traded again. He seems to get traded every season now. He signs a 1-year deal, gets traded to a different team. He was with the
Royals moved him on, and now he keeps moving.
Yeah, because he was struggling with the Royals, and then he got on fire with the Mariners as soon as they traded him. Sometimes you just need a kind of a new ballpark to look at to help you out. But he got traded to the Brewers for a minor leaguer. Mm-hmm. The NL Central leading Brewers. And then Ahmad Rosario for the Guardians got traded to the Dodgers. They kind of had a big middle infield issue. And they got Noah Syndergaard, so who at this point is kind of just a project. You kind of hope he can get back to what he was when he was good with the Mets. And then the last thing, Kike Hernandez got traded to the Dodgers, and the Red Sox got two prospects back.
Went back to the Dodgers.
Yes. So that kind of shore up their middle infield right there with those two guys. Even though Kike's been kind of struggling. But Kike's good because he's versatile. He can play second base, he can play third, he can play center. So he's a pretty good ball player. So that's kind of all that's going on right now. It'll be interesting to see. Ohtani was kind of the big play that we were kind of excited for. Mm-hmm. But what am I trying to say here? But that won't be happening. But it'll be interesting to see who kind of wants to buy and who wants to sell. Because the Reds could technically buy because they're in the last wild card spot. They could try and compete. The Diamondbacks were there. They've been kind of...
Speaking of the Reds, they just signed their coach to a contract extension.
Yeah, all those young guys popping. So, I mean, the Reds don't even really have to do anything. They could just kind of keep building from here. Mm-hmm. But if they want to compete, they could. The Diamondbacks, they are not as hot as they were at the beginning of the year, but they're only half a game out. So are the Marlins. The Cubs are right there at 500. But I think they're going to try and trade Cody Bellinger. Because I think the Yankees have been looking at him a lot to help shore them up.
Aaron Judge just came back today, too. So that
yeah.
I think I read somewhere the Yankees were 19-23 without Judge there or something like that. Losing records.
Yeah, really bad. So, And then the Padres and the Mets are kind of out of it now. And the Mets just traded a reliever, so they may be selling. But
I did see a headline that Padres were taking offers on some of their big players.
Yeah,
Hader and Soto and Snell.
Yeah, so it's funny how the world can just change all of a sudden. Mm-hmm. But technically, they could keep trying to compete for the last wild card. But yeah, they've been really disappointing this year.
Yeah, very.
And then the American League, Tampa Bay's had a huge fall from grace. They're only in the wild card now.
Yeah. Because
since they were like 20 whatever and 6, now they've been under 500 for the rest of the year since then. Which is why I didn't pick them to make the playoffs.
Oh.
If they didn't have those first 40 games, I would have been accurate. But
they count.
Well, the Red Sox were looking at sellers, but now they may be buyers. And then they have like 4 guys coming back. 3 of their pitchers and Trevor Story will be making his debut soon. So, I mean, their trade deadline's pretty much all their guys coming back. So they could, as much as I've shit on organization, they're in a really good spot. They're competing and their farm system's really good now. So, I mean, all the shit I've said about Chaim Bloom, I kind of got to take it back. The Yankees are trying to compete now, especially because Judge is there. The Angels can. The Mariners can, but they're kind of disappointing. And then the Guardians aren't out of it because their division's so shitty that they're only a game and a half out of the Twins. So they can buy. And then White Sox already getting rid of the whole team. The Royals and the Athletics don't have anything to sell. The Royals
need to do something. But
what do you think they're going to do? Do you think they're going to trade Salvi?
They won't trade Salvi. They should. But they have Scott Barlow, who they could trade. But he's kind of undercut his trade value with his pitching performances last few weeks. So we'll see. I mean, it's a long way to go. So.
Oh, there's Wayne. Get Wayne out of here.
Hi, Wayne.
He was last episode. Shout out, Wayne. You'll probably listen to this, but
I hope he is.
Yeah, you're not on this episode. Maybe we'll talk to you about the trade deadline.
Yeah, I thought maybe we'd bring those guys in when we get to the playoffs and see what maybe get their thoughts and opinions on that.
So yeah, the White Sox are selling, and the Tigers are just the Tigers. So they may sell if they have anything to sell. So that's all I got for Major League Baseball. Do you have anything else to add?
On the trade deadline?
Or just Major League Baseball in general?
I do have a story on MLB that I was going to talk about a little bit.
And then I just realized I had one little tweet that I wanted to share about baseball.
Okay.
Someone reported that MLB attendance is up to Sorry, John Heyman. He's a guy on Twitter. He worded this very poorly. MLB attendance is up close to 9% this year. It'll be the biggest increase since the Great Home Run Race of 1998. So attendance is going up for baseball.
And they're going to say it's all because of the rule changes.
Oh, was it about, what's his face? Dingledoofer getting extended? Did you see Rob Manfred got extended?
Yeah, I did have that as part of my Nuggets. But
Oh, sorry.
that's all right. He's been extended to 2029, but we got that out of the way.
There you go.
I wanted to talk about the Atlanta Braves.
Oh, yes, I forgot you mentioned this.
Yeah.
Sorry, I would have saved the Manfred talk for later then.
No, that's fine. On July 19th, you could start buying stock in the Atlanta Braves. As announced in November of 2022, we're back to November of 2022, Liberty Media is splitting the Braves off into, quote, Atlanta Braves Holdings, Inc. Now, Liberty owns the team, but they do not take money out of the team or give money to the team. The team spends what they make, and their profits are based on sales from baseball operations, TV deals, radio deals, ticket and jersey sales, as well as real estate holdings that they have. So what's happening is called a split off, where existing stock is converted into a new stock for the new company. So now that the Braves have become Atlanta Braves Holdings, Inc., they have made new stock for the Atlanta Braves Holding, Inc. Corporation. And the stock at the time of my research was valued at $45.70 a share. Now, they let's see. Liberty paid $1.58 billion for the rights to the company that owned the Braves at the time in 2007, and the team is now worth $2.6 billion. So, about 1.1 more billion over the last 15 or so years. And the Braves are valued as the eighth most valuable franchise in MLB. And I did check to see who the top ones are. Number one's the Yankees, two's the Dodgers, three's Boston, four's the Cubs, five's San Francisco, six is the LA Angels. Now, see, on this list it had Atlanta 7, but according to the report they're 8th, but give or take. And then the Phillies and then the St. Louis Cardinals were the top 10 teams value-wise.
You should have let me guess.
In MLB. I'm sorry, I should have. But
I don't think I would have come up with the Angels.
I thought it was interesting that now the Braves fans can go out and buy shares of their team, which is similar to the only other professional team that you can do that is the Green Bay Packers. So I thought it'd be a good occasion where I decided to get a special guest, and I'm proud to bring on an owner of the Green Bay Packers. Welcome in Nathan Farrell. So as an independent owner of a sports franchise, how do you feel about the Braves becoming such an entity?
That's great. So when you bitch and moan at the TV, you could be like, "I fucking own you, asshole." No, I'm joking. I don't do a whole lot. I got my shareholders meeting tickets in the mail again.
Are you going?
It was like Tuesday.
Oh.
And I was working, so I couldn't go.
Damn it.
But one of these days, I do want to go to the shareholder meeting.
An owner of the Green Bay Packers working at Don Miller's. Who would have thunk it?
Yeah, so it'd be fun to kind of go there and listen to it, because they talk about everything like you're an actual shareholder. I mean, we can't do anything with our stock though. It's not. Can you actually do anything with their stock?
I don't know.
Because all Green
Probably
Bay
not.
All Green Bay stock is, hey, we want to renovate and put a new jumble board in the building, so we're going to offer our stock so you can be an owner and go to this meeting every year. But then we're just going to use it to pay Aaron Rodgers $80 million. And then he's going to go to the Jets and cut $35 million off it, so you can go win the Super Bowl with them instead of you.
So you're going to send us a bunch of money. We're going to make you a nice certificate, send it to you in the mail. You can frame it, put it on your wall.
Mine's still sitting over there.
And we're going to, I framed it up real nice for you for Christmas.
Yeah, it's still sitting up. I just don't have a frame hook to put on the wall.
You should take a picture of it and post it on the Fast Intentions Twitter page.
No. I'll post a photo of that banner right there.
No, we won't do that.
Did you see that?
I did see that.
You just never commented on it?
No.
I have a blanket of lizards banging each other on my wall.
And not with bats or anything.
I'm going to post a photo of it on the Fast Intentions Podcast Twitter page.
Well, anyway, I lost my train of thought. But I thought it would be a nice headline on the podcast that we interview an owner of the Green Bay Packers. I forgot
you said you were going to do something special with that, but that was me. Yeah.
So anyway, The Braves are now a publicly traded commodity. They're split into 3 common stocks. There's an A level, B level, and a C level. So
See, this sounds like an actual stock.
if you're a Braves fan or you want to just make an investment in a sports team, get out there and buy you some Atlanta Braves. And plus, they're playing really well right now, so the price might be going up. So get it while you can. Get it while it's hot.
See, I'm going to wait for the Braves to start doing really shitty, and I'm going to buy a bunch of stock, and I'm going to wait for them to get really good again.
It probably won't be available by the time they get really shitty.
Oh, what? Is it just a limited time selling?
I would assume so. I didn't really see. It was a Wall Street Journal article that I read, and it didn't go into much detail after the fact.
Are the Braves going to be on the NASDAQ?
Yeah, they're on there as. I didn't write down the.
ATL?
No, it's like a 4-letter thing.
Braves, they always have
It's the Atlanta Braves Holding Inc., so it'll probably be like ABHI or something like that.
Yeah, they always have some weird thing.
Or BACI or something. I think it was like BACKI or something like that.
It's like Red Sox Baseball Club or whatever. They always have some weird trademark name.
If you're really interested, I'm sure you can look it up easily.
No, that's cool.
So, yeah.
Yeah, being an owner of the Packers is pretty all right, even though it's not really like an actual. It's like more of a donation to the Packers.
It's still pretty cool, though, to say you can do it. And that's something you can leave for your children, when you move on. Because that's forever. It don't matter how much more stock they sell, you're still an owner of the Packers. So.
Yeah, and then they give me 4 tickets to the shareholder meeting every year, and they have like a board of directors, the Packers do, and so you get a little ballot so you can vote to retain people. Like, should they keep their job on the board of directors? Sure. I don't know everyone. I know Leroy Butler's on there. He's up in a few years, I think.
You need to go one of these years. Maybe next year we'll finance your trip so you can go to the shareholders meeting, and then you can come back and report on it. Tell us all about it.
Sure. I'll interview Matt Murphy.
There you go.
Or Mark Murphy, not Matt Murphy.
There you go. That'll be big ratings for the pod.
Brian Gutekunst.
Gutekunst.
You didn't take a receiver in the first round again this year? Yeah, there's some good day 2 value.
I want this guy fired. That's what you be saying. Let's fire this guy.
No, I mean, the Jordan Love trade was bad when they made it, but the draft was kind of bad when they made it, but he's been pretty good with his draft picks. Yeah. Because we hate on A.J. Dillon, too, because he was like a 3rd-string running back at the time, but he's a good.
Yeah, it's come around.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we had any unfaith in him. He just didn't really address the needs we needed to address that. Oh, we're getting away from the Super Bowl, so let's get all these 3rd-string guys that won't play this year. But they'll be good in 4 years. We're trying to win with Aaron Rodgers right now. But now he's gone, so now these guys are very helpful. So he was rushing the process we didn't want to rush, but now we're here.
Spoken like an owner of the NFL franchise.
Thank you. All right. So do you have anything else?
No.
So I have some NBA stuff, but I may just save it for my Nuggets because I don't have any Nuggets.
Okay.
So if you want to say your stupid line about boosters or whatever.
What's my stupid line about boosters?
Fire up the rocket boosters!
My first nugget is, did you see this? Lionel Messi with United Miami, I think they're called.
Inter Miami,
the soccer team, has scored 3 goals in his first 2 games, with his first goal being the game winner in overtime.
I did see something about a game winner, but I didn't see he had 3 in 2 games.
Been dominant. There's pink tint. Well, they're pink, and there's pink tint jerseys all over the stadium, all over the city. There's murals of him everywhere, and they paid a lot of money for him, and so far it's paying off.
Well, he's playing with all the shitty people in the U.S., so yeah, he's got to be pretty good.
Well, apparently there's one of his former Brazilian teammates is on Miami with him. So.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Miami's kind of a hot marketplace to want to go to, so it makes sense.
It's hot. He's hot. They're hot. Everything's hot in Miami right now.
Oh, yeah, he's hot.
Congratulations to Lionel Messi from us.
So, I don't even like soccer, but I'm kind of like if they go to play like Kansas City or something, I should go and watch them play. It'd be kind of fun. Mm-hmm. So, tickets will probably go expensive, though. So, all my stuff's going to be NBA news.
Okay.
Remember, like, a month ago when Damian Lillard requested a trade? Mm-hmm. And he said, I only want to play for Miami. Mm-hmm. And his agent was telling people, if you trade him, he's not going to want to play with you. Mm-hmm. He may sit out. He may not do everything.
I remember you saying that.
All right. Well, the NBA just released a memo, and they sent it to all 30 teams.
Uh-oh.
So, apparently, like I said, his agent and they were telling teams, hey, you don't want to trade for him because otherwise he's not going to want to play for you. Like, it's not a bother. He only wants to go play for Miami. Well, they interviewed Dame and the agent. They said, have you been saying these things? They go, oh, no, we don't say things like that. That's rude. Of course you'll play wherever he gets traded. Well, they sent out a memo to all teams saying, if your agents or these players are coming up to you and are saying that they won't play for you if they get traded to the team, that if they're reported to the league, they can get disciplinary action for saying these things because they should go and perform all their actions no matter who they play for. So I think they probably consider some sort of tampering.
Oh.
So they're saying, like people like James Harden says, I don't want to go and play for this team. Well, if you get traded there and you're trying to coerce teams not to trade for you, you can get in trouble for it now. I don't think they necessarily said exactly what the disciplinary actions would be, but they could get probably fined or maybe like suspended for doing things like that. So that's the new Damian Lillard trade front. So he still wants to go to Miami, but they said Portland Trailblazers said we'll take as long as we don't care how long it takes. We're going to wait till we get what we want. So
they got the upper hand. So
yeah. So that was my first nugget.
Nice. Well, my next nugget isn't sports related. It's food related.
Well, then what the hell are we doing here?
It's a nugget. Our nuggets don't have to be sports.
What are we doing here? This is a sports podcast, not a food podcast. Even though I do
We're
like
a food show.
I do like food.
All right, Skittles got a new flavor coming out, and it doesn't taste like the rainbow. In celebration of National Mustard Day on August 5th, the candy brand has partnered with French's to make its first ever mustard-flavored Skittle.
What the hell?
Would you buy it, and would you eat it?
No.
All right.
I like mustard, but not in a Skittle.
Press release describes the candy as having a tangy mustard flavor combined with the candy's iconic chewy texture doused in a yellow coloring. But don't expect to see it on store shelves near the mustard or candy aisle. People brave enough to try the new flavor can do it at French's Mustard Mobile. And that's stopping in 3 U.S. cities, including Atlanta on July 31st, which is coming up, Washington on August 2nd, and New York on August 5th. There's also a website that will tell you the exact locations, and you can enter an online sweepstakes for a chance to win a package of mustard-flavored Skittles.
Oh, this is like a sweepstakes thing?
So good luck to you, Glenn and Wayne, on obtaining your mustard-flavored Skittles.
What, are they interested in doing that?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay. I was wondering why you just shouted them out here.
So I'm just calling them out.
What a weird fact to know.
Yeah. So.
All right. My next nugget, Jaylen Brown. I'll save you all the blabber, and I just put in a nugget for him.
I saw
My
it.
man, Jaylen Brown for the Boston Celtics signed the richest contract in NBA history.
Call the cops. He broke the bank.
Do you know how much it was?
A lot of zeros behind it.
5 years, $304 million. He's going to be making over $60 million a year.
Let me ask you, is he worth that much? Is he worth more than Tatum?
Well, Tatum will be eligible to sign one of these eventually, and he'll make more than Jaylen Brown.
Will they be able to afford to keep them both?
Maybe.
Okay.
So it depends. Because I think the league has new CBA rules, too, so that's going to screw up the salary. So, but they have it, so I think he signed for 5 years, and there's no player option on him. So they have the ability to trade him down the line if they want to. But I think for a guy that's that valuable to the team and as a core and he's eligible, you have to offer him as much as possible. Because you can't be like, well, we don't want to give you all that much money. Because what's that say to your player? And I think for a humanitarian guy, I think he is a good person to pay. Because he even said he hopes to bring in new programs to address the health gap and racial inequality in Boston. He said he wants to create, quote, the Black Wall Street in Boston. So he plans to create a bunch. He has like his own nonprofit called Juice, but it's like the J is a 7 because that's his number. So 7UICE. So he has a bunch of nonprofits. He hopes to develop more plans to,
that's nice.
like public programs to help address racial inequality and stuff. So he says he plans to use a lot of that $300 million to do a lot of good in Boston, because Boston's kind of known for being a racist city. Whether that's true or not true, I don't know. I don't live in Boston, nor have I experienced any. I'm a white male. I can't speak a lot on racial inequality because I have privilege. I don't know a whole lot about that. But so, if he's addressing these things, it's a good token. Jaylen Brown seems like a very educated man, so I'm glad he has more use for it than just, well, let me buy a sports car or blah blah blah. So,
Did you see the U.S. women's team fell behind in a game for the first time in a long time?
Since 2011.
Since 2011, I was going to say. Yes.
I did see that.
They did rebound to come back to tie the Netherlands, and they have a win and a tie, and they're playing again here soon. So
I did see that. Yeah, shout out the U.S. women. I don't care a whole lot about soccer, but
yeah, it was a bit of an upset that they tied with Netherlands, but Netherlands has a good team. But Yeah, it's just you're not used to seeing the United States behind, but luckily they were able to rebound and tie it up.
What do U.S. women?
You mean just women?
The men were used to them being behind.
Yeah, and they had several chances towards the end of the match to score and go ahead. They just couldn't put it in the back of the net.
Yeah, shout out to women. I hope they wish them success on their World Cup run. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I'm not a big soccer person, or football person.
Football.
So, and then my last thing, I wanted to give condolences to Bronny James.
Oh yeah.
Who suffered a cardiac arrest during a USC practice. But he's in the hospital and he's released, and now he's back at home resting. So that's good news. So just wanted to offer condolences to Bronny James, future NBA player, hopefully. So
yeah, his dad said he wants to play long enough that they can play together.
Well, this is his first year of college, so he'll be eligible to get drafted. He's got to play 2 more years.
Of course, that probably means LeBron won't be with the Lakers. But.
Well, he said money's not a thing. He'll go play wherever if he gets to play with his son. So Celtics pick him up.
Be funny if the Cavaliers drafted him.
I'm sure he'll be okay going back to Cleveland.
Yeah.
Shit, he'll go play with fucking Utah. If he wants to. I remember that draft when they left all the Utah players left, and they said, Charles, no one ever wants to go play in Utah. Because no one dreams of being a Utah player, which I thought was kind of funny because he's not wrong.
Yep.
So.
Utah Jazz.
I don't even know what LeBron's.
Named the Jazz because they were in New Orleans originally.
Were they?
Yeah, that's why they got the name Jazz.
I just thought there's a lot of Jazz in Utah.
No.
Let me look up L.A. Lakers contracts.
You probably thought the Jazz Museum was in Utah too.
No, I didn't. I knew it was in Kansas City. You guys were the ones that didn't know.
Yeah,
I think because I said, oh, and then you guys would guess in New Orleans. Mm-hmm. I go, I thought it was because. So LeBron James is under contract for this year, and then he has a player option the next year. So LeBron gets drafted somewhere, you can opt out and go sign wherever.
Cool.
But he'd be giving up $57 million to do so. The Lakers have 4 players under contract. Jared Vanderbilt, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and then their 2 draft picks. The only 5 guys on the team right now. But no, they just they re-signed Austin Reeves. That must not be official on that website yet. So they do have some players. But that's all they have listed on their contract page so far. All right, fellow listeners. Thank you for listening to another episode of Fast Intentions.
What about our comment section?
Oh.
We actually got some comments this week.
Well, I don't know. You were just scrolling Facebook, so I figured you were tuned out of the podcast.
No, I was just checking some facts. Sorry.
Facts? You can't go on Facebook for facts.
I'm just saying we're about a month out from the Husker football season starting, and next time we record, we're probably about 2 weeks out. So it's coming. The Big Ten Media Days is just the start, and then fall practice will be starting, and then
yeah, we're gonna have to do a football prediction pretty soon.
And then the games will be here. The Nebraska at Minnesota game will be here soon.
Yeah, and then I know I gotta go to a Nebraska game this year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go to one of them. I don't know which one, but okay. So listener comments. Okay, so this is from episode 21. Do you want to go from 20 first, or do you want to go from 21 first? What makes more sense to you?
Whatever you want to do is fine.
All right, we'll go up to episode 20.
Okay.
Buckley and Friends. These are comments.
Okay.
Glenn Turner. 16 days ago, he said, loved it, with 3 exclamation points. Shout out, man, Glenn. This was before he was even on the show. And then, I don't know how to say her last name, but this is Cindy, that girl on the trip.
The German, right?
Right Gilt?
Right
yeah,
Gilt?
whatever.
Right.
Yeah,
Yep.
Shout out. She said, or maybe they, I don't know. I don't know what her pronouns are. But these two have a fun, easy, listening banter. We were on the trip, too, so it was great to reminisce with them. Thanks for the memories. You too, Cindy. Appreciate it.
Yeah. It's nice getting to know you.
You have a good name, too. My mom's name is Cindy, even though it's spelled different. So, well, technically her name's Cynthia, but
Well, I also have a comment from them. Listening to the Trip podcast by Fast Intentions, Bob, her husband, says, who knew the kid had so much to say? Meaning you.
I have a lot to say.
Well, you were pretty quiet on the buzz, so.
That's because I was tired, and I wanted to just listen to my music.
Well, yeah. They're just giving you a little grief.
I have a lot to say.
Yeah.
But I'm also not one to just go around and start talking about my life with people,
Yeah.
If someone asks about it, I'll be more than happy to kind of go with it. But I'm not like, hey, did you hear what I did last week? Hey, did you hear what I did today?
You're not an open book.
Well, I kind of don't like to, at work, there's people that just come up to you and just tell you all their life's problems and stories, and it's like, oh my God, leave me alone. I don't like to try and be like that. I usually like to kind of be quiet. But if someone's open, I hear something, maybe I'll interject. But I usually try not to be all like personal with people, unless I have to, or I want to. If it's people I like, or like people I know for a while, because I don't want to be like, oh, this poor girl Cindy's got to listen to me, just blabber about crap, and she's like, this kid's annoying. Okay, and now episode 21, our best friend Lisa messaged and commented on it. She said Wayne and Glenn were a great get. So they were very entertaining.
They were, and Glenn's guarantee that we'd get some listener feedback and requests for them to be back again. And Vern did say those guys are fun to listen to, and we should have them back.
Okay, well, Lisa messaged me too. She goes, first off, 2 hours is a long episode, but she said the Wayne and Glenn interview made it pretty easy to listen to. So, see, Wayne and Glenn, Glenn knows what he's talking about. He knows that they're entertaining.
I thought we were easy to listen to.
Well, I am at least.
Easy like Sunday morning.
Even she said the kids got a lot to say.
Yes.
And that's and she's saying that in a good way. Because she just left out the part where you said you're boring.
No.
He said, oh.
Elliot Shoemaker, one of our new subscribers on YouTube and followers, we appreciate it, Elliot, said, I listened to it last night and thought it was really well done and really interesting to listen to. It was also nice to hear your voice again. Oh, thanks, Elliot. It was nice to have you listening to my voice again. So, shout out to Elliot. I know he's on a trip with his friends right now, and so I hope they're having a good time. And
I like the way you whisper in my ears.
Take it easy.
Thank you, buddy.
You're welcome.
All right. Any other listener?
John Marshall enjoyed the interview with Glenn and Wayne. Pretty simple, straight to the point.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, John. And also, John's a carrier in Arizona, so be careful out there, John. They've had over 2 weeks straight of over 100-degree temperatures. So
see, we only had 1 week, and this shit sucks.
I know. I feel for him. It's got to be tough. And then one more comment from the Twomies. We are sitting in the campground in Oregon and just listened to the podcast interview with Wayne and Glenn. Nice job, Todd and Nate. We really enjoyed it. Hope we cross paths again on another Buckley tour.
I did see that.
Well, thanks, Bob.
Because you texted it to me.
Yeah, it was nice to meet you guys, you and your wife, and Bob and his wife. What was his wife's name?
Uh-oh.
I shouldn't have said that, but
uh-oh.
Shout out to her.
She ain't listening anymore.
Yeah.
We lost her.
Yeah.
We lost her. She's gone.
We spent the time before the game at Fenway walking around the grounds with them and really had a good time and
I know those.
Enjoyed ourselves.
I don't know their names either.
Yeah, that's the Twomies. That's Bob and his wife. So shout out to those guys. Yeah, we miss you, and hopefully
we
can meet up on a trip again. There's a couple rumblings that maybe not next year, but in 2 years we might try a Midwest trip. So it's been floated out there already by Glenn and Wayne and John and Elliot. Actually, John messaged me today. He's going to Houston at the beginning of September. Wanting to know if we could possibly come down and meet him. And I'm like, I don't know. But
am I coming on this trip then too?
It's Houston and the Yankees. I'm like, I don't know if I really care about
that. The cheaters and then the assholes.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, because it's the Sunday the 3rd and the 4th the holiday. So he's going to apparently he's moving his daughter to Atlanta, and so he's driving. He's going to stop there on his way back and see a ball game.
Well, I'm excited because I'd be okay with that because Houston's not on my list. Mm-hmm. Houston's one I need to get mark. Mm-hmm. My stadium's going pretty good. I'm almost halfway, I think.
That's good.
I think. I've been to 13 ballparks, so I'm not halfway. Are there 32 teams? There's 30, right?
There's 33 ballparks, I think I saw.
33?
I think so.
How are there 33 when there's only...
I don't know. I saw somebody had a sign the other day with his daughter said, we've been to all 33 ballparks. So...
Well, there's only... I thought there's only 30 teams. How's there 33 ballparks then? No. Maybe like ballparks that have gone by the wayside or are new now. Mm-hmm. Probably. So. But yes, I'm going to go see a White Sox game the day after I go see the Packers play the Bears. And of course they're playing the goddamn Royals.
Yes.
Because every time I go somewhere, I got to go see the fucking Royals play.
Yes.
Oh, I'm going to Fenway for the first time. Who are they playing? Kansas City. Ugh. Who wins? Kansas City. Ugh. I got to go see Kansas City and Baltimore. Even though we did that specifically for you. I knew that. And it was just so happened. Oh, maybe the White Sox will be playing. Oh, they are. Oh, they're playing the Royals. Speaking of that, do you want to go see the Red Sox and Royals?
When?
It's in September. I think it's the week before that.
Maybe.
It's like the 3rd, I think.
Maybe.
Because I've been looking at tickets.
I bet.
And the longer we keep looking, the more the Royals suck and then the cheaper it'll be.
No.
So that's a good thing.
Yes.
Because like the White Sox game, when we're looking at it, you can get tickets at the top for like $5.
Nice.
So I'm like, man, you can just pay $5 to go to the ballpark and watch a game.
Shit.
But I spent like $60, and we're like behind home plate. So we're not directly behind home plate because they always sell those for like $400.
Yes.
And then I got my Monday Night Raw tickets. I also thought I could drive to Chicago the week before because they have All Elite Wrestling's All Out, like a pay-per-view there. But that's the same day as the Boston game if I wanted to go to that. So I figured I would ask you first because I thought about just buying 2 tickets like 2 months ago to buy to the game and be like, hey, Dad, you want to go? Because I can drive. Because we can take my car if you want. We can drive.
That's scary.
I've driven to Kansas City a few times now.
Drive on my wayward son.
Like twice.
There'll be a game when you are done.
I'm the
Lay your weary head to rest.
Speaking of All Elite
Don't
Wrestling,
you drive no more. Yeah.
Speaking of All Elite Wrestling, the Elite, that's their...
I'm all out on All Elite Wrestling, so yes.
You know, shut up. That's their theme. The Elite come out to Carry On My Wayward Son.
I knew that.
No, you didn't. Who are the Elite?
Me and you, the Fast and Tangents podcast. With that, we're out. Thanks for listening, everybody. No, I'm teasing. Follow us on F Intentions Pod on Twitter, please. We're not getting any traction on that, so please.
Because you post cringy things.
I do. Hop on there, give us a like and follow, please. Spotify, like, rate, review, give us a 5-star, please. Elliot gave us a 5-star for thank you again, Elliot.
I found out I can see comments on it now, so
Yes.
keep leaving comments on it.
YouTube, we're up to 33 subscribers, so let's make a push for 35 by the next episode. And then all these new platforms we're on. So go out there, hit us up, give us a listen, comment, follow, all the good stuff, and shout us out, hit us up, whatever it is. We take it all.
Yeah. I mean, just make it good stuff, though. Don't make any bad stuff.
Leave the bad stuff to us.
Nah, it's okay. We have plenty of bad. No, give us feedback. We'll adjust how we need to.
Yeah.
If I breathe heavy, I'm sorry. I'm fat. I try to work on it. But
You're doing good.
some,
PHAT.
yeah, no, I'm FAT.
No,
Capital F, capital A, capital T. Woo!
Exclamation point.